Scam understands this thing so much. I'm sure that Scam Janelle is gonna invade and infiltrate the triangle, and with Japoi on the Invoker, either with the Sunstrike or even if he goes cross wax, it will be both effective. And they have the Natsumi Prophet ulti as well. Like, it's gonna be really hard for Fnatic to secure their triangle, I think. And that's like the whole game plan for them.
Well, let's jump into this game and see if Fnatic can drag it out enough to get to late game.
Thank you, Nat. We are here in our Game 1 winner bracket semi-finals. So a win here would put you in the top 3. Not that top 3 gets you much. It's all about winning this qualifier. There's no second place, there's no third place. But staying in the upper bracket would be much more comfier for either of these two teams. And it is going to be Fnatic playing on the Radiant side, OB.Neon playing on the Dire side. Early game, Ponlo, what do you think are some of the kind of key things to look at here that both teams are trying to achieve with lanes?
I think for Neon, the key thing is once CTM on the Mirana feels that his Timbersaw can lane okay, can lane fine against IO Gyro, Mirana is gonna start to move towards mid, but it's not exactly an easy lane to gank with an Invoker against a TA. The Invoker's already added the Wax, so he's gonna play Cross Wax Invoker, but still they have no way to remove the refraction charges, so it's a lot more about disabling the stacks that are gonna come out from Jab's Lion, the triangle. Their cause triangle, I really don't see how they're gonna match up in terms of the tempo of the game.
And then when it comes to Fnatic, I mean, we talk about OB.Neon knowing what Fnatic's trying to do. I feel like it does go both ways though, because this is very much the draft we saw OB.Neon playing in the Singapore Major, and Fnatic, well, Death was the guy playing on the team at the time. So
the battle begins.
I guess part of me is thinking like, surely Death knows what to expect a little bit out of OB.Neon, right?
For sure, Death himself is quite a Prophet expert, and he also had quite a lot of understanding and discussions with Scam from the Singapore Major when CTM was playing this Prophet carry. But I think we have seen this Natsumi play Nature's Prophet carry before, and it was not quite the same level as CTM's Prophet carry, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to see whether it can look as amazing as it did.
Already they're ignoring the creep waves and just going for the heroes here. Honeywell in some trouble. He gets kind of low without getting a battery assault off, so wrap around, and they're just trying to fight level 1 with this Blightstone. There is just relentless aggression coming from both sides.
The top lane should be pretty easy for Neon. I think it's gonna be like around 6-4. Because they don't really have any way to deal with the Treants. They can't really kill it directly unless they use both spells, but that doesn't mean you're gonna win the lane if you just kill the Treants.
So far, Fnatic playing this lane better, it seems. So they've gotten a lot of harass up, already forced to salve from the Clockwork, and haven't had to use much regen themselves. So at least start has gone well. But take a look at some of these other lanes. Early pressure coming out. Raven looking for a level 2 kill on the level 1 Timbersaw, taking advantage of the early level. They just run down Timbersaw.
Yep, DJ on the IO added a level 1 overcharge just to have the attack speed to just hit the Timbersaw. And like I said, a Gyro IO that knows what they're doing, they have a pretty free lane against the Timbersaw.
I feel like I've never seen this before. Is this normal for IOs in this lane to go level 1 overcharge instead of the tether?
I think it really depends on whether you feel like you will be threatened. If you feel like the opponent heroes are gonna harass you a lot and hit your carry a lot, you might have to go like a Ring of Regen and Hydras or something like that. And when you go more regen, you don't want to add your overcharge because your damage is low. But in this case, he added got the Bracer on the IO, level 1. That's why he went for the level 1 overcharge.
Game pick some of the other lanes. We talked about the TA Invoker matchup, and Yopaj has 7 denies. What's going on here?
Skill gap? It's okay, it's a warm-up game. It's the first game of the day.
But yeah, warm-up game, wake-up game, whatever. And you mentioned ChYuaN not known for his TA play. At least it's been maybe some time since he's really been playing this hero, because he did spend a lot of time in that off-lane role.
Yep. I think for ChYuaN, at least for my impression, is that right now he's really emphasizing and focusing on a lot of team play and team aspects of the game. So I think it's sort of understandable if there are some areas where in his laning where he's not matching up completely. But I think as long as he does fine, it's good enough.
And yeah, he's going close to even. He's maybe slightly behind, 60-40ish right now, so it's not like he's getting crushed playing by any means.
Yeah,
We'll see.
with that being said, like he should be doing a lot better in this matchup.
Yeah. See how things kind of progress for him, taking a look at some of these other lanes. Timbersaw, you mentioned, going to get left alone early, and this could be something where the Mirana can kind of move around the map. Is eyeing off his middle lane for a gank. Not sure it's an easy kill, as you kind of mentioned earlier. TA, of course, with fraction, and Mirana may be kind of limited in what she can do.
Oh,
Even if you're just arrowing neutral creeps to get some farm and XP, you're still afraid. Like, TA mid has to play more cautiously, worried about that Mirana gank if you don't see Mirana.
yep, exactly. You can't play, you can't trade as much as a mid laner, and that trading in mid is a big part of laning, of how to pressure our enemy. If you always play with like 100% HP and 80% mana, you're not gonna pressure your enemy at all.
And the Dire Sentry mid was actually blocking the TA small camp, so even denying like small bits of farm on ChYuan's TA.
Yep,
All the little things.
Teams should really be studying how Neon use their sentries in the early game, because it's really, really clean.
So far, not any kind of crazy aggressive plays, just arrows being thrown at neutral creeps. Meanwhile, OB.Neon just happy with the status quo of these lanes. But at the same time, Fnatic, all three of their cores are getting good farm. Are you feeling like this is favoring either team right now? There's no stats being made for the gyrocopter, but the lanes are being basically... Oh, mid lane, hold that thought. Arrow gank coming in. The backup from DJ is there, so it looks like nobody's going to go down with the help from the IOTP. I mean, I guess, yeah, do you feel like these lanes right now favor either team?
Not really. I feel like the lanes are going... Other than the... I mean, the mid lane train is kind of doing better now. But I feel all the lanes are going as how they should. Maybe Death is getting a little bit too much. He's Death Sama, honestly. His laning is one of the best. Death fanboy here, sorry. But... I feel like not having stacks is really a huge issue though for Fnatic. Like, Japs has this ward on his cliff, the triangle, but he hasn't used it to... So the concept of this ward, right, is so that as a lion, you can go over there and you can stack the camps without being afraid of the clock. Or you can see if the clock is coming to block it and you can stun him before he reaches the camp, so you still get the stack. That's what we see like LGD Innocence do. And that's what I saw CTM do yesterday when he was battling against the clock. But Japs hasn't stacked triangle a single time, and I feel like the TA already wants to clear some stuff soon, you know, like a big camp at least. Because yet he didn't even have a small camp to play with at the start.
Is that just because he feels like he has to keep protecting this Bloodseeker? Like, is the Clockwork Nature's Prophet just going to get a kill if he's left alone? Maybe we'll find out, because that's exactly what they kind of try and do right now. But no, Death he's at least fine for now with the level 4 face boot.
Japs went over to stack the big camp once. We're going on Death, but it looks fine.
Yeah.
Maybe this was the plan. Yeah, maybe this was the plan. We get Death says... Japs maybe told Death that he wants to go stack, but Death said, wait for me to get my phase boot first before we start to leave. If not, my lane will be really hard. So... Fnatic has not deboarded the big camp, the ancient camp though, and that's worrying, I think.
Yeah. Something they've not even really been going for too many stacks on just yet. And with obviously TA who could farm it early on, and then Gyro who's more than happy to go farm it a bit later. A lot of potential farm that they are missing out on.
Oh, the Invoker made his first move. Bottom.
Yeah. Was scouted out. There was an observer in the tree, so I believe they know, but he's going to look to turn around with the Ghost Walk to go back. But someone needs to defend mid. ChYuaN is just getting free damage on this tower, so yeah. He's going to come in now. It's going to be coming in from the support Clockwork who leaves like Nature's Prophet alone.
Yeah, that's the advantage of having a Nature's Prophet carry. You get to move freely on your supports. And worst come to worst, you can see what Natsume is doing. He's just farming a small camp.
At this point, they should be fairly aware that this Invoker is still trying to make a play, because he has not returned to the mid lane. Clockwork is kind of lurking around, getting as much XP as possible.
Yeah, very disciplined play coming out from Fnatic safe lane.
OB.Neon very disciplined, safe play. Oh, they found the kill. It's going to be the Yanuo Clockwork. Dabs rotating it in, but OB.Neon abandoning the top lanes, leaving their support for mid for a little bit, have now brought the Invoker back, perhaps realizing that they're not going to be able to find any kind of a kill down bottom onto the Gyro or the IO.
the broom, guys. Oh, okay, Japs found it.
The hidden ones have blessed me.
I'll take this extra damage.
Okay, at least Japs deboarded the ancient camp now, and he double stacked the big camp and the ancient camp, so they're gonna start having stacks to play with. I imagine they're gonna farm it on the TA first because the gyro
tower is under attack.
only has a level 1 flag and it doesn't really have damage to clear it yet.
Denied.
See what OB.Neon's next is going to be. It seems like they're just going to leave Timber down bottom. It does seem like Fnatic are trying to at least bring enough heroes down here that if Timber goes for this T1 tower, they can punish him. They have the Lion down here as well, which is kind of the essential hero, I think, if they want to kill him, because that's going to be how you stop his Timber chain away.
Yeah, I kind of like the emphasis that Fnatic are putting on defending this tower, because giving a Timbersaw a bot lane tower at 9 minutes is gonna destroy your map. Because the gyro is gonna be forced at the top side of the map, but that's kind of where the TA wants to be as well. So you kind of have to hold your towers as long as possible, so you get to get enough farm on your heroes. Because they are essentially running like 2 pos ones with the TA and the gyro.
And meanwhile, Clockwork was trying to make a move towards top on the Bloodseeker, but he has a really cool lane ward that actually kind of scouted it out. They put the sentry over where you'd expect the ward, but the ward is actually in his own lane.
Yep, Janelle warding is one of the best in C, in my opinion. And back when he was a pleb in Sterling Dragons, I used to schedule scrims with them just to fight against Janelle, because our team, and Death was on the team as well with me at the time. Forgot what was our team name, but we literally only scrimmed Janelle's team at the time because Janelle was just so damn good, and we learned so much from watching him in our replays.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower
See where
is
his
under attack.
next move is going to be. For now, he's just managed to leash a lot of XP. The position 5 Clockwork already level 5.5. And OB.Neon going to make their move down bottom. They rotate the Nature's Prophet. They take a tier 1 tower. And they've forced the Gyrocopter back into his jungle, which is where those stacks really become important, because Raven doesn't really have a lane to farm, but the stacks are starting to pile up. They've got added stacks, the big camp, and Fnatic making him towards top. Smoke jabs on the Lion. To try and take a counter tower. They need the TA here to, if they want to have the damage to take this tower, it feels like.
Yep, but I think touching a tower at this point of the game is going to be a bad idea for Fnatic, because I don't think their heroes are ready yet. But this is at least some pressure. They just need to not get caught out and die on their heroes.
Is there anything they can do to deal with this Timbersaw at this point? He's level 9 with a hood. It feels like he's probably just not even worth ganking anymore.
I mean, they can kill him with... they need probably like 3 or 4 heroes maybe with the Rupture, the Gyrocopter and the Lion as well. Yes.
Top lane. Yes. Gonna lose his mana. The hookshot follow-up is there with an arrow as well. They're gonna catch the Bloodseeker and bring him down with the help of the battery assault.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, the Timbersaw TP top as well. They want to start playing the top side of the map and contest the jungle. They do not want to let this TA clear these stacks freely.
Radiant's
and this is really cool what Neon are doing. It's really
And
smart.
instead they go back to this top lane. They find Jabs behind the tower here. He's going to get caught by a Cold Snap plus Earn. Very aggressive early game from OB.Neon. Knowing they don't have the farm advantage if they sit back and, you know, play in their jungle. That's something that heroes like Gyro and TA have on them, so they are all about going for these kills.
Dire's middle tower.
Yep, but Fnatic is also doing the wise thing of just splitting up their heroes and taking the farm on the elsewhere of the map, because they're not ready to fight just yet. The worst thing for Fnatic to do right now is if they tried to fight Neon at the triangle, they would just lose and maybe even lose all the stacks.
Those were the first kills OB.Neon have gotten this entire game. It took 12 minutes for them to get on the scoreboard, so it's definitely Fnatic have done a very good job of avoiding these fights, and Raven has been kind of the big winner in this kind of passive game, because he is top of the net worth and free farming away with the help of DJ.
Yep, both teams are being really smart about their moves. The Timbersaw actually came over here and cleared all the stacks, so I imagine Neon is really happy with this. Smoke coming out from Fnatic though.
They probably want to play around this mid lane. They need to back up the TA who gets put in tornado EMP. Where's the follow-up? ChYuaN is going to get helped out by DJ's Eye. Can he heal him up enough? He's still alive. The Spirit Vessel charge simply is not going to be enough. If Fnatic have turned this around and taken out the Clockwork, they want more. They're going to get Onru on the Timbersaw, and they want CTM scam. Managed to TP out of there, but a great turnaround.
Yep, it was not too sure, but they thought that they could kill the TA, but just needed that little bit more. I'm not sure if they lined up their spells perfectly, but a really crucial heal from DJ.
Okay, saves his buddy there, and they're going to get rewarded with an early T1 tower. So I think the team that wants to kind of maybe sit back and farm a bit more, they're actually the ones who take a T1 mid earlier because of that successful team.
Yep, now I imagine Fnatic are gonna go back to stacking mode and stack every camp they can, because they are sort of strong right now. The Gyro already has a Maelstrom and a Blade of Alacrity. He can clear stacks, and if Neon come in, I think they can fight right now.
Vanish.
So mid lane, especially if they're able to like bait a fairly tanky hero. Like Ti at this point, 1500 health with Refraction, fairly tanky, but here come OB.Neon charging forward. They're going to find Death, and it looks like he is going to be the sacrifice. Has a 4-staff, so he's actually just going to be able to get out of there. Great early pickup against the Clockwork initiation. They're relying on this hookshot and arrow combo, and 4-staff is a great way to negate that.
Yep, it's not amazing for his own hero, but it makes a lot of sense for the game, right? Or how the game needs to play out. So Death is Zhao actually told me said something about Death, right, on the interview in
That's gonna get picked off at the bottom rune.
Yeah, I was saying, I remember Janelle saying something on an interview at the Singapore Major, and he said about Death that Death is his laning is really good, one, and number two, his item decisions. He puts a lot of thought into what he buys, and he consistently has good item choices. And I think we're seeing that here in the 4-star.
Because, yeah, it feels like, you know, there are those players who just kind of usually go for the typical standard meta build and go through the motions. But, yeah, seeing a rush on a 4-star, even against Clockwork, like, this used to be what a lot of people did, but it has not really been as of late. So,
I mean, most players,
coming out from him.
They just opened up their shop, you know, they see what's on the right side of the screen, then they eeny, meeny, miny, mo. They just buy whatever seems familiar, right? Most of the time, even for myself.
Yeah. I mean, if you've played a hero a bunch of times, you know how a certain item is gonna give your game, even if there's maybe a better item that could improve it. Down bottom, Lion is set up for a relocate gank, and they're gonna take out that Clockwork. Nice. They'll pick off, nothing too crazy, and it's a 2k goalie. OB.Neon, despite not having the farming lineup so much, are actually doing pretty well in terms of the farm game, and it's pretty much entirely on this Mirana. Mirana has 5k net worth.
Yeah.
He's channeling his inner core.
How did he get 5k net worth? I didn't even realize.
75 last hits. At 15 minutes, how do you get 75 last hits as a support? As much as the Invoker.
I think we're seeing it though, like when CTF chooses to farm on his hero a lot, which is what he's doing this game.
Nice 4-staff initiation. That's another way you can use that one. Death sends his Lion in for a Hex Impale. The Finger of Death is not going to keep him alive with the mech. It's enough damage and great pickoff. Great initiation with the 4-staff.
Yeah, it's very creative. I was saying, like, when CTM farms a lot on his hero, I feel like the team in general starts to become quite passive, because as far as I know, CTM controls a lot of how they play, and he short calls a lot, and he's very active usually. And I feel like in general, I kind of get the feeling that Neon is a little passive this game after they took the triangle stacks. I don't think they've done, after they felt that they botched that initiation on the TA mid, right? They haven't really done anything with this Vessel on Invoker, this Nature's Prophet Witchblade, which are considered item timings.
They're smoked up, they're looking to perhaps use these item timings a little later than we expected. As they head towards the top lane, looking to make a play. They're in this up with the Moonlight Shadow. Jabs has a sentry, but it's too late. Can't get up any spells because of the cold snap. They take out the line. They definitely want to go for more here. Onryu in some trouble here with the Rupture. He doesn't get away, but the Colts could actually protect him here. He's tanking himself up, has the 1 charges, and now the chase is on. Natsumi's teleported in very aggressively, and he's going to go down because of it. The Deathly Blast coming is a little bit too late to save his life. Onryu on the Timbersaw doing a hell of a lot of damage here with the Spirit Vessel on the eye of someone. A lot of his healing. Next up could be Raven. Raven, he wants to turn and fight, and with ChYuaN with the double damage on TA, there's just too much damage. He wants 1 or 2 more right clicks. It's not enough. Didn't have the Meld strike. He didn't have the mana for it, or he may have taken out that Timber.
Yep, the fight didn't start that well for Fnatic because their Lion died immediately, but luckily for them, ChYuaN had a DD rune bottle, so that DD rune actually gave them a fighting chance in the fight. Natsumi as well with kind of a questionable TP at the back. I'm not sure what happened, but I don't think you ever want to have your +1 carry Nature's Prophet that has a Witchblade Maelstrom just TP to the backline and die in like 5 seconds. I think that's always like bad news.
Yeah, he did 300 damage the entire team fight, compared to like, you know, Gyro TA doing 3k damage, 4.5k damage. So he just teleported in and died, and that's, like you say, your top net worth hero. So the BKB, that probably works out fine, but he's got to wait for his team to be the ones, like the Timbersaw, really to go in before he goes for a teleport like that.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes, right, when you get openings, like you kill the opponent Lion, right, suddenly you feel really excited and like really pumped, because to you it's like you're not supposed to lose the fight anymore. And you start to make these over-aggressive decisions, and maybe that's what happened there. But I think Natsumi is going to be more careful with the next fight though. I think he understands under them.
Under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Neon got the answers for this farm gyrocopter, because it feels like Raven's just getting everything he wants this game.
Middle tower is
I don't think that. I think at this point Fnatic are getting more and more comfortable with the game. Like the gyro is way too rich at this point of the game, and yeah, they have nothing to scale against the gyrocopter. I think like the Prophet stands no chance against this gyrocopter, especially because he has an IO.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They don't really have the ideal heroes to jump on top of an IO. See, does feel like, yeah, OB.Neon need to be considering what their next aggressive moves can be. They've pretty much got all their early game item timings. They've got a full Greaves on the Mirana. The only thing they're maybe missing is this BKB on Natsumi. About 1,000 gold away from.
Yep. Japo is not really finding the kind of, like, Fnatic are really smart about not getting caught on their heroes by the initiation. And I think that's why Neon are finding it hard to find the openings, because Fnatic understand what are Neon's initiation sources and what are their damage sources. Put the right hero to deal with it. They don't just get caught on their gyrocopter or their TA without refraction.
And do you feel this gold lead, we see a 3k gold lead for OB.Neon, is kind of misleading when you see how far TA and Gyro are?
Yeah, it's definitely, this gold lead is like entirely on the Mirana, and your Mirana is not going to be able to do that much in this game, I think.
But also, I guess one concern is, you mentioned the Bloodseeker. Death is very underfarmed. Like, he is looking more like a 4 position in terms of farm rather than a core.
Radiant's bottom tower.
In this, like we discussed in the draft, this Bloodseeker last pick is more like, it was just, oh, bottom.
Relocate bottom. They want that Subi. Can he teleport out in time? They needed disable. They got it, the Impale.
Oh, Natsumi. No.
Instant smoke. I believe Dire may have seen this vote CTM. Yeah, he pops it, leaps away, but he's already been ruptured. He could be in some trouble himself. He's actually leaped into green. Got himself stuck. He gets hexed up. Lotus Orb is there to back him up. Okay, he almost survived his way through that one. So what the plan there was for OB.Neon. I think they saw the smoke and knew they were being ran at, but lingered around and got picked up.
I really think like something like that cannot happen on your carry Prophet. This hero depends so much on the snowball of the game. You can't have careless deaths like this, because it really like falters, your timing really falters, because you don't farm that quick, and your item timings are like pretty tight on this hero.
OB.Neon wanting to test Roshan. It's, oh, okay, Dire killed Roshan, Radiant got the Aegis. Snatched by ChYuaN, but he was kind of the one going for it. He's going to pick up a clockwork kill to go with it. Nice attempt from OB.Neon to steal the Roshan. They do get the gold for it, but not what they were hoping for. This Nexus Prophet BKB just taking a bit long to come online, and I have to go back a bit to what you said. It doesn't really feel like this is a comfort hero for Natsumi the same way it was for CTM at the Singapore Major.
Yeah, personally it looks kind of like a night and day to me, because CTM's Prophet at the Major was something truly magical in my opinion. Like, the entire world was looking at it, and all the other teams, like even Secret tried to run it on Matu, right? And it didn't even look same. Like Matumberman, you know, killed one of the best carry players, couldn't even make this Prophet look as good as CTM made it. So I think CTM just made this hero look insane. But Natsumi, not so much, even though they are on the same team.
Neon not going to go down without some fight. They're still slightly ahead in gold, as we've mentioned, a bit misleading, but they're continuously looking to fight. They smoke up, even into the Aegis on TA. They know there's no BKB, so they think their timing is now, and it is. They've got the BKB on the Nature's Problem. That's the item they've been waiting for so long. They had the Aegis initiation on the Bloodseeker. They're going to cause as well, but actually Bloodseeker still forced us a little bit further away. He gets the Rupture offer as well, and with the IO heals on the Death actually survives his way through it, killing off the Timbersaw. Forcing OB.Neon to run away. Nature's Prophet already committing the BKB, has to just TP on home. Terrible fight for OB.Neon. I think that it looked like Daniel was trying to get the cogs pushed back, but accidentally trapped Bloodseeker inside rather than pushing him back.
Yep, the tornado on the Invoker actually already clipped the relocate on the IO and cancelled the relocate, but they just barely had enough damage. Didn't have enough damage to kill the Bloodseeker. Again, I think we see... I think again we're seeing Fnatic, right? Like, Fnatic are not trying to start the fight. They just position well on the map. They know who is in danger and they just sort of position behind the person. Death just positions himself, blocks the smoke. He gets initiated on, but the DJ IO is already there. And they have the 4 staff to kite the spells. Like, it's just like textbook good play from Fnatic right now.
Now Raven is 14k net worth, full BKB completed.
Dire's bottom
Everything you could hope for on a
tower is under
gyrocopter.
attack.
TA says, screw it, I don't need BKB, they're kind of ignoring me, and I can just position for the back, picks up the Crystallis instead, so more damage coming out for the TA. 6-0-3, we had some questions about how good his TA was going to be, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, especially because he has the Aegis right now, so he feels that he can get a lot done with this Aegis, that's why he just buys Crystallis. Hit a random timing during the Aegis. He bottled up a Haste Rune, it's going to be quite important for the next fight.
Is there any kind of a plan B? Like, the Invoker Midas is kind of looking like, you know, that's basically saying this is kind of a plan B, but like, is this plan B? How much of a shot does it give kind of OB.Neon, like going late game here?
The seeds of fortune.
I think it's very rough for Neon because the Invoker late game is not like what it used to be. Right now, the strong part about the Invoker is the Kata, but it's just countered by like 4 stars. Like, all you need is like 2 4 stars on your team and good enough like players to press the 4 stars before the Kata hits.
Radiant's bottom tower.
The late game Invoker is already like hugely nullified ever since they removed the stun on the Deafening Blast 4 years ago or something.
They look to defend their top tier 3 tower, they TP in the Timbersaw. Reuse plan here. Hook shot in, they go into the gyro, the Kogel pushback is there with an arrow, and they're going to blow up the gyro. Great play there, DJ couldn't get in to save him, he was on the back lines, but looks like, I think it's Atos maybe cancelled his relocate, jabs in the trees, can he TP out? No sirree, he's down as well. Great defense from OB.Neon. They win the fight, the relocate did end up going off, and DJ is going to come back in without any friends. 3 dead, great play. Bringing down the gyrocopter, not letting the IO keep him alive.
Yep, a small slip up by Fnatic to touch that tower without a clear plan in mind. Like they had the 4 stars to break the chain stun, but they just didn't use it, I'm not sure. But TTM's arrow, like that cog pushed back into the arrow, like that was picture perfect by Neon.
I feel like after that last engagement, probably his teammates and maybe even himself were like, yeah, when you hook shot in, you cannot go, you have to do the cogs pushback. Because often, you know, clockworks go between, you know, do you just want to trap him or do you want to push him back?
Yeah, especially on the gyrocopter because the gyrocopter is a BKB.
A gold difference now. Number we've seen kind of consistently grow a little bit, largely because of this Mirana continuing to farm. CTM has a Greaves as well as a Glimmer Cape. I mean, how much of a difference does having a farm Mirana make compared to, you know, the enemy offlaner who's less farm than a
I mean, the farm has to mean something, right? And if we click on Mirana, he's going for a Solar Crest and it has a Glimmer and a Guardian Greaves. And it's really about what these items do for his teammates and how strong these teammates actually are with these heroes. The issue I have with this game is that he's gonna buff up his Nature's Prophet, right? But I'm really not sure that this Prophet is gonna be able to man-fight the IO Gyro combination, plus the TA's Mel strikes. And they also have a Rupture on top of it if they want to. Like, you know, if they had more of a be-all end-all carry, maybe these buffing items would do a lot, but
Prophet is starting to scale as we'll see both teams look to run into each other. Moonlight Shadow on the Dire. Radiant did smoke into this enemy jungle, but Fire in the neighborhood, they do see them. Yet the Observer Sentry combo, Mirana instantly leaps away. Look to turn and line up an arrow, not going to throw it immediately. Wait for initiation. Here comes the hook shot from Manuel on the clockwork. Gets the hook, does get the cogs pushback, but not the ideal way to start the fight. Fire kind of panic relocates the TA back to safety. Clockwork perhaps overcommitted here. Back in the trees. Death on the Bloodseeker going to get brought down. They chase him all the way in. Buyback from Clock. Timbersaw Naked Prophet going to look to turn and find Natsuki. Pops the BKB, trying to hold it zoned by Raven, but there's no way he wins this one. He goes for the TP, but he doesn't make it out. The BKB TP not going to work against the physical damage.
He's under attack.
he almost barely got out. That was so close by Natsumi. He had to TP out like half a second earlier.
Something you kind of mentioned, yeah, was if that Jara gets a BKB off, you cannot like Nature's Prophet can't really hold his own and just fight this gyro.
Yeah, this Prophet has an AC, you know, he has an AC BKB, but he still dies as long as the gyro and the TF focus on him. It was already kind of a botched initiation by Fnatic, like Japs missed his stun on the Mirana, and the Mirana managed to leap away. But Neon, maybe that was a bit too keen by Janelle. He hooked into a TA, but his team wasn't really ready to follow up. The DJ below saved as well, saved the TA from hook up.
Good defensive play from Fnatic, and this has really been the, I feel like, story with Fnatic. They're almost in every game we've seen them so far, the team happy to sit back and wait for their opponents to make moves, and then they just always have a good response to it.
Yep, I feel like Fnatic plays a lot of Dota based on like understanding how the fight needs to happen in the next fight. They don't just simply like turn off their brains and play, you know, and expect things to go well. That's why consistently we see them playing the fights in a good manner.
Tier 3 neutral items come out, something that OB.Neon hadn't quite picked up just yet. I guess Spider Legs, a Quickening Charm, and now a Tunic. Good news is Radiant did not get any kind of Paladin Sword. I think that would be probably the worst neutral item for OB.Neon to see their opponents get. Obviously, yep. Fnatic would have loved to get one. Instead, it's the Elven Tunic, which is but just not as good, I would say.
Oh, there's a Spider Legs on Neon. It's gonna get it.
Well, they don't really have the best heroes for it, which usually you love getting a Spider Legs, yep. But for once it's like, actually, wait, is Spider Legs even that good for them?
So right now, Janelle is carrying it out to him on the clock. It's pretty
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's not good on any of their cores, so the 5 position is getting it. That says a lot. I mean, it's way better than this broom handle. He's happy.
Raven already has a Skadi on his gyro. This guy is pretty huge.
Yeah. Like they cannot prioritize him. They're gonna have to go for the IO we've kind of touched upon, but go for the supporting cast and then deal with the gyro last. Roshan and Tempest going down. Radiant scans. They have an idea of what's coming in their way. Den blocks and takes the arrow for the team as they're going to secure Roshan. The hookshot follow-up. Actually, it's Jab blocking the hook on in. Yanuel was going for an Aegis steal there, but ends up just giving away his life, unfortunately.
Quite a complicated for Neon.
Yeah, it's like they've still got a gold lead just purely because of Mirana. It just feels so funny to see because you know gold leads can be misleading, but usually like it feels like Fnatic are so far ahead now with Aegis in their hands, second Roshan in their hands, yet still they're behind on gold.
Yep, like based on the lineup, we understand that Neon has to kill the supports, right? But if you look at Neon's lineup, who can follow up with the single target damage onto an IO? Like after they hook this IO, as long as the Lion falls off the IO.
Going in, they found Natsumi. Jabs with a one-man ganking mission. I don't think they're gonna have the physical damage here. Yeah, they can get vision.
I think
the Impale Bolt time, but not enough, and they're gonna go for it. The relocate should be coming back in a second here, and Yopaj on the Invoker has to just BKB run away, so it'll be Neon.
Radiant's
not finding any openings after the relocate happened.
I think the relocate was maybe a bit slow because I'm pretty sure if they had a full chain stun from Lion, then they should be able to kill the...
Be a little bit careful, they chain stun him well here, the nice double force up to get him away. They want to try and protect this Aegis so it doesn't get wasted here. Hookshot actually gets blocked by his own teammate. CTM in some trouble here. Has to leap back to the high ground. On Ryu. Gonna just be the tanky frontliner.
Yeah, important to note as well that the IO currently has a cheese on DJ. So yeah, the next fight is gonna be rough for Neon. They don't really have a single target damage aside from the Invoker and the Prophet. Like even if the clock finds the initiation on the IO, I'm not sure that they can even kill the IO. They don't really have that hard stun.
Yeah. And he may just choose to save his own life if they commit too much on him. Yeah, with the mech Holy Locket cheese, his healing is getting out of control at this point.
Allies disappear.
DJ's IO, although he doesn't play that much anymore, but it still looks as formidable as it used to be. He was playing in all the TIs. DJ IO was quite a huge thing.
Top lane. Neon seeing what they can
tower
find, but
has fallen.
probably just gonna be backing up in a second. They're actually being down bottom here. DJ just was trying to go for a TP out, but gets found by the hookshot. So there we go. They do show they can kill this IO.
Yep, of course, in such a scrappy situation. The issue is when it comes to a team fight. Like when the formation on Fnatic is like proper, it's gonna be really hard for them to break the formation.
So like just okay. Really good. OB.Neon utilizing the fact they have really good vision top, saw multiple heroes TP, and they're like, okay, this IO's alone.
Yep, OB.Neon actually planted a Tinker Ward top as well on the left side of the map. Maybe they're anticipating, maybe they can catch out an IO as well. There, because the IO usually hides in the trees to stand behind the cores, reload them off.
Is there a point where you feel like this game does, you know, super late game ever start to swing back OB.Neon's way at all? Like if they
Dire's
continue
top
to
tower is
farm
under
well
attack.
across four heroes essentially getting farmed?
Not really, especially because this Prophet, I'm now looking at him and he added the cooldown reduction talent instead of the 8 armor, so he's not gonna scale as much as this TA and this Gyrocopter. And like sure, if maybe Yopach manages to get a Hex and Refresher and BKB and
Dire's
you know he
top
manages
tower
to do
is
some
under
wombo
attack.
combo that we put on YouTube, maybe they can a good fight late game, but
Dire's structures
unless that
are fortified.
happens, like
Radiant's
late game is
bottom
still
tower
rough on
is
your
under
end.
attack.
You mentioned the
Radiant
Cataclysm being the
structures
late game
are
power
fortified.
invoker. Usually it's
Dire's
picked
top
with
tower
some kind of
is
setup,
under
like
attack.
obviously Faceless Void, the obvious one, but even
Dire's
things like a
top
Dragon
tower
Knight with a
has
long
fallen.
duration stun. The Clockwork is just not reliable because of the force stop, so it feels like there's no good setup for his Cataclysm.
Yep, maybe the Clockwork will be able to finally get an Aga late game. So if the 4 stars are not close by, he can chain stun the
Radiant are scanning.
double hook shot. But that's if the 4 stars are not close by.
Just needs to be careful in enemy parts of the map. Like nothing much is going to come of it. Gyro getting close to being thick slotted though. Fnatic not using these Aegises to like really force any big fight though. Is that the right call here? Do you think there was anything they could have done with the Aegis?
I think they still, like, even though they have if they have a Lion Hex, but if they initiate into Neon and they force their Lion and the IO to play at the front line of the fight, right? If they are the ones initiating, the fight is still not completely safe for them. I think they much rather have a fight where like
is under attack.
the whole early game, right, where Neon are the one initiating into them. Then it's so easy for Fnatic to fight. And I mean, to me, they are in no hurry. I think this Gyro still has so much room. He can finish. He can buy the Aga Blessing. He can buy like a Rapier.
Yes.
I will say from my experience, like as a support player, like when I played Line and you're like the only stunner initiation, it doesn't feel good because you don't want to be blinking in aggressively because you're just going to die most of the time. So it does feel like Fnatic are limited when it comes to starting fights, because if Lion dies at the start of a fight, they have no lockdown for the rest of the fight.
Yep. And I think this is a point where inexperienced players will make the argument that, you know, I have the initiation, we have the damage, why not we start a fight, right? But experienced players have played this game enough to know how like all their heroes scale, and they sort of measure the risks, right? They do a risk evaluation in their minds about how the next fight needs to look, and unless they see a fight that meets their threshold of what risk they want to take, they just don't, and they just chill and just scale, and they just wait for the next Roche, take the next Aegis, and just play a good clean game.
Radiant's top tower.
That's what Fnatic are doing, but at the same time, OB.Neon with a lot of good answers to it. They're split pushing both mid and top lane really well. The Nature's Prophet Treants take the tier 2 tower top with the Aghanim Shard. The mid lane was they're cutting the mid wave with the Invoker Fort Spirits. He used the Meteor as well, so looks like OB.Neon, while they're in a tough spot and they are at a disadvantage here, they're making a lot of good moves.
Yeah, they're keeping up in terms of the farm. This Prophet,
they're getting high ground.
yep, he has a shot on the Prophet.
Under attack.
Yeah, and the creeps are in the top wave, so they're just gonna get a tier 3 tower here. Get it down to 9 health.
Yeah, I'm sure the calls on Fnatic, at least one of them is considering to buy a travel so that they can consistently go and push lanes, and they can play with the relocate, and the Iron can start to smoke up and get pickups. Like they need to start playing the map better. Like, because Neon are trying to dodge them right now. And Fnatic are stronger in fights. But yeah, maybe Fnatic needs to stop sticking together so much because they are kind of getting like out-farmed on the map.
OB.Neon at least feel okay with some of how this game has developed. All 4 core heroes essentially at this point continue to scale. Like Mirana's got an Aeon disc coming, but with all the farm that she's got, Invoker late game with the Aghanim's Refresher, so even if it's not the best setup for a Cataclysm, double Cataclysm in a chaotic team fight could still just blow somebody up if you're not ready for it.
Yep. To add to my point earlier, like I wanted to say that if they want to split up on the map, I'm talking about Fnatic, to push out the map more effectively, they probably need to get a gem and deward all the wards before they split up, because if not, their core heroes are just going to get picked off on the side lanes, and that's exactly what they did. They bought a gem on Japs and they dewarded the ops in their triangle. So now Neon have way less information about trying to catch the cores. Fnatic can start to push out the lanes effectively.
See how OB.Neon handle this one. It's like they've got plenty of vision tools themselves with the clockwork rocket flares. They've just done a good job at avoiding any kind of potential Fnatic aggression. Fnatic though are smoked up and seeing what's behind here. Both teams going to be probably playing around this Roshan. The Rosh number 3 with a Refresher Shard. Big, especially if OB.Neon get their hands on it for the Invoker with the Aghanim Scepter.
Yep, the issue here, so now here begins the macro play. Is Fnatic gonna just force this, or is Fnatic gonna try to catch this Prophet that's gonna be splitting? This Prophet, all he's gonna do is keep pushing in bot lane, force the pressure onto the bot ranks, while they dance around the Rosh pit. It's like Fnatic's just gonna force it.
Yep, they're in the pit, and this bottom lane kind of pushing, but there's TA traps, so TA traps can actually take out these creep waves. I like this move from Fnatic, recognizing a way to handle the split push.
Yep, that's really smart.
This Roshan.
They are leaving now. They are feeling kind of nervous about this.
Yeah. Lotus Orb on the homing missile, we'll send it back Raven's way. See, Fnatic leaves this Rosh area. They gotta be careful because they did get Rosh down to about half health, but there's still a couple TA traps down bottom to deal with any kind of split push, so imagine Fnatic's gonna want to just stick around this pit. And you mentioned boots of travel, ChYuaN has them. So TA goes bottom to push it out and has the boots of travel to rejoin his team.
Yep, Nature's Prophet actually has level 25 as well, so this bottom is just gonna be... He added the TP CD. He doesn't have a CD on his TP anymore.
Yep.
Here he is.
You like that more than the buff treants?
Like what?
You like it more than the buff treants? Oh, hold that thought. Never mind. We've got a big Rosh fight going on. Timbersaw chaining on through to get some vision of what's going on. Clockwork hooks in, but Roshan is still alive, so perhaps a bit early, but Natsumi goes charging in with the BKB TP. He scatters the Aegis from the Jericho. Here's the Cataclysm raining havoc on everybody. There's only one though. Nature's Prophet gonna die once. Is there a respawn? Doesn't have to say Panic has a BKB when he comes to life, but he doesn't get a chance. He gets instantly impaled. Natsumi is dead. No chance to BKB. And OB.Neon haven't found a single kill in this fight. Fight still in the Roshan, they're in all sorts of trouble. Yopaz on the Invoker gets silenced up, and Nature's Prophet fighting back. The Meltrick on an Invoker, Yopaz goes down. And now Onryu on the Timbersaw, he's in trouble. He's going to Lotus away with a Flicker. That's going to help keep him alive. Another Temper Chain. Oh, the back door. Nature's Prophet is going to have to BKB TP home. Luckily BKB because Jab was in the trees waiting for him, so sneaky little play will help, kind of salvage things, but great
what a quick reaction! What a quick reaction by Fnatic to TP bot there. Natsumi, like, I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can BKB on Rosh respawn, Aegis respawn. I don't think you would get hit by the Lion Impale. That's a really big deal for them. Now suddenly Fnatic has a really easy win condition. All they need to do, 2-man smoke with the Lion and Bloodseeker, and look for this Prophet on the side lane. This Prophet can't split push anymore.
Trouble. Not sure what happened to the Refresher Shard as well. It disappeared somewhere in the craziness. May have been used by someone.
I'm not sure. I saw that the Gyrocopter was the one that took the cheese, and the Fisher Prophet was the one that took the Aegis.
Go back to the status quo here as mid lane to jump onto Death's Bloodseeker will find a kill. Good move from OB.Neon, who the first time this game really are behind in terms of overall gold, but things down to a whole lot more than that now that we're at the kind of 40+ minute mark. You asked for, you know, full 3 long games, at least for game 1. We've got a neck and neck even battle here. Feels like just a great clash happening here, Ponma.
Yep, and it's like both teams are like playing such high quality Dota, and there's like so much to learn in how they are playing the map, how they are playing the fights. It's so enjoyable to watch.
Now with, I mean, the crazy thing is, you know, there was this big fight over Roshan, but now there's no Aegis in play. Yeah, there's a Cheese, but Cheese doesn't really change the game plan at all. So probably both teams will go back to what we saw before the Roshan, especially on the OB.Neon side, because they committed buyback. So they are the ones who have to play, I think, ultra safe now with buyback on Nature's Prophet down, as well as some of their other heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that Fnatic, once this Blastiker is respawned, they're gonna TP and they're gonna smoke. They're gonna make a play onto this Prophet, which is exactly what they're doing. Going towards the triangle, but unfortunately Natsumi is not there. He's at a pretty safe place called his base.
I hear that Fountain is pretty strong.
Oh wait, not
Zero cooldown TP. He's TPing right away. Oh, they're pinging and they know he's there. Okay.
That was...
You know, if they had predicted him TPing there and were already waiting, that would have been such a heads-up play from Fnatic. But, I mean, already it was a heads-up play from Fnatic. They were bested by Natsumi, who knew it was not a safe place to be.
We've been kind of quiet about this Timbersaw, but this Timbersaw actually already has a Hex.
Yep, Natsumi top, nothing to cancel his BKB TP, so they do find him, and they perhaps are going to start putting some of these traps in the trees here. Another thing the TA could consider, yeah, I mean, has queued up the Ag Scepter. Obviously, against a Nature's Prophet, Ag feels really nice on TA.
Yeah, the Aga on the TA is like one of the strongest Agas in the game, I think. It just allows you to be so mobile on the map, and also in the fights. Like, you can just place a trap like in the fights to the backline, and you can just teleport there. Like, really insane.
There is a trap in these trees that has not been dewarded, so some intel going Fnatic's ways. They were standing on top of it, but Fnatic don't really want much to do with it. They're leaving the TA top while the other 4 heroes play around mid, trusting ChYuaN to not get picked off and to be able to boot to travel in. Nature's Prophet
oh,
again.
Natsumi. Oh, you are a man.
Bottom barracks are under attack.
Going for the range. There's no backdoor protection. I'm not sure exactly how or why.
I think Fnatic are just gonna force it. Like, they understand that this Prophet has no buyback for 4 minutes. They should just force a fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Raven just picked up a butterfly, so he doesn't have buyback for 200 gold. I was about to say, he had so much gold, I'm going to be fine, but he needs a couple of creeps, so he's got buyback now. They can't do so. Relocate down bottom. They found the pig, Natsumi. They were waiting for him. Oh, he'd made that play a few too many times, and the TA trap sitting there waiting, giving vision.
Yeah, the TA trap, ChYuaN. So smart. Oh my god, that's just... Isn't that just game? He just walk up high ground now. He has a butterfly, he has 2 cheeses.
Yeah, but DJ can get given a second one if he ends up needing it. But yeah, Raven can just go up 90+ seconds without a Nature's Prophet. This could spell disaster here. They'll do what they can to that Invoker. You can soul your high ground pretty well. Rupture coming out on Ryu, that's going to limit what the Timbersaw can do. He's going to have to wait for that to wear off, but Bloodseeker with an Ag Scepter has a second one. He also has a Spell Prism, so Rupture's galore here.
But there is a pretty long cooldown on the spells on the Invoker, and by at least he has a Spell Prism. The cooldown on the Meteor is another like 35 seconds, so...
Yeah.
I think they're going to be able to take this right.
I think, yeah, they're going to have to get this one out to try and cut their losses here, but unfortunately for them, Yotash gets jumped. ChYuaN on the TA just goes flying on in. They take out another. And they're just destroying OB.Neon's base, taking out the bottom lane. Not a whole lot they can do. They are look to try and buy some time here as Raven forces Tank to heal himself back up. He gets hexed up, but he's more than okay with an IRC behind him. I imagine they're just trying to bait him out a little bit here as the force up will get him back to safety. He is stunned up, and now with the Deafening Blast Meteor, a lot of damage coming out, but the heals are there.
30 seconds, Fnatic, are you gonna go? Play there.
Second lane. on the forces. We're gonna go flying through, get sidestepped by all the Fnatic heroes here, and yeah, he's been ruptured, you can't move. His Aeon's already been procced here, so they're in trouble. They're gonna jump in the Invoker. No buyback. It's looking like it's all over. Raven just charging forward, flacking through everything. The buildings, the heroes, they lose them around an instant buyback. They've only managed to take out a line on their side, and ChYuaN back at the base, trying to zone the Timbersaw back to his base, and they're going to focus on the objectives, go for the tier 4 towers, go for the throne. Still no Nature's Prophet. Finally he's back, but this could be too little, too late, as without the clockwork, without the Invoker, I just don't think they have what it takes to stop this Fnatic push. BKB on the gyrocopter if he needs another rupture coming in. Death is just a rupture pot at this point. Natsumi TP's in with a BKB, he's trying to hold his own, he's trying to fight, he wants ChYuaN, but there's the cheese. He manages to heal it back up, and it's GG. Fnatic takes out OB.Neon. A fantastic game one. They just managed to slightly outmaneuver OB.Neon in the